Hello, everyone, and welcome to my review on Aladdin, the 2009 version. I went into Aladdin today really trying to push out thoughts of the original, of which I've grown up with, the animated version with Robin Williams. It was hard. It was hard. I've got to admit, it was hard because I love that Disney film. It's kind of immortalized itself as a genuine child classic. Sorry, just adjusting my chair. So, as I went in there, I had to push out my head that the fact that, one, this film was for, or is for, a new generation who might not have seen the animated film, but also, they're going in with a fresh head. But also, the very fact that I also had to take into context the very fact that Guy Ritchie had a massive job on his hands because it's a very beloved film. And I also learned that the reason why they were doing this remake is because apparently, and I've read this in an article somewhere, I can't remember where I read it, but Walt Disney has in his will that every decade or, like every 10 years or so, all the classics like The Lion King, Sleeping Beauty, Beauty and the Beast, all of them have to be remade for a new generation, so that a new generation can fall in love with, you know, the remake or the classic tale. And I get that. I respect that. I think that's a brilliant and beautiful idea, to get people to fall in love with Walt Disney and just to keep the image of Walt Disney alive. So I went there. I sat down in the cinema as the trailers were playing, and I was like, right, I'm going to focus on the fact that this is a film of one, drawing in new people from a new generation, and two, it's a remake and it's a different take and it's a live action on Aladdin. So Aladdin starts, as I felt, it was a bit slow. There was a shocking beginning with Will Smith on a boat with his family, and I was like, wait, I thought he was the genie. But then he started a tale which he was telling his young daughter of the story of Aladdin. And by the way, sorry if you can hear an aeroplane. I live under the flight path, so just bear with the rumbling. Anyway, and then one of the most shocking things, which kind of took me by surprise, and I've watched other YouTubers say, it did the same. Basically, Will Smith started singing the Arabian Nights, which I couldn't remember from the original, thinking about it when I came out of the cinema, that they actually sang it, and then I recognized it as he was singing. And what took me by surprise was the fact that, oh, Will Smith can sing. And then I had to remind myself that before he became an actor, he was a DJ, and he was, a music maker. He was a hit maker, and even in his acting, when he did Men in Black, when he did Wild West, films like that, he did songs for them, which for me, those songs were great. I loved them. So I had to kind of remind myself that Will Smith actually can sing. So yeah, like, they sang Arabian Nights, and I must admit, I was blown away by the actual in-depth detail to the city. I can't remember the city's name, so forgive me for that. But the city, the Arabian city, it was beautiful. It was vast. It was colourful. I loved the bright colours. This was a beautifully bright coloured film, in its scenery, and I just loved it. I really, really, really loved it. I found the guy, and I can't remember his name, and I'm so sorry for that. The guy who played Aladdin, I thought was perfect. He looked like the lad in the cartoon. And yet again, there I am thinking back to the cartoon. Like, it just shows how much I loved that cartoon, the animated one. Um, so yeah, he looked pretty much like Aladdin. He could sing well as well. Like, the costume for Aladdin was spot on and perfect. His interaction with Abu, who clearly was CGI'd, was just great as well. And I did get a thrill when it showed Aladdin's street home, because they must have focused on the animation to look at the set, and they made it, and it was spot on. It was really spot on. Also, Naomi Scott, who plays Jasmine, I must admit, I struggled with her at first, but then halfway through, I warmed to her. The reason why I struggled with her was because, obviously, in my head, I saw Princess Jasmine from the cartoon, and I was like, she doesn't look like her. Which is very unfair of me to say, because this is a remaking of it, and it's never been done before, so, forgive me for saying that. There was also Jafar, who I didn't like, and not because he was a villain. It's because I just found him a bit too soft as a villain. Well, through the first and second part of the film, the third act though, he came into pure villainry, and I was like, yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. That's great, you know. But I just struggled with him. I found him too softly spoken, whereas, obviously, here I go again, comparing the original, he was very sinister and evil. But, obviously, as I said, in the third act, his villainy came through. The Sultan was just not your average Sultan, because I don't know what a Sultan is like. But I accepted him as Jasmine's father. I thought the tiger, can't remember the tiger's name. I am an awful reviewer, I'm really sorry. I thought the graphics of the tiger and the graphics of the cave where Aladdin had to get the lamp with all the treasure, and was just stunning. It was absolutely stunning. I was like, wow, they've captured it perfectly. I wondered when Aladdin got the lamp and Apu picked up the gem, I wondered, are they going to do the lava scene? And yes, they didn't disappoint. Even though when I watched the Disney one, the Disney remake, I was just like, I was enthralled by it because it was a winding maze. This cave isn't, but I appreciate it for what it is. It was a beautiful piece of scenery, a beautiful graphics and CGI, and I was enthralled into it. Now, coming on to the main topic, Will Smith as the genie. Seeing Will Smith in the trailers, seeing how he was represented in the trailers, and my love for the Robin Williams version of the genie, I was like, I'm not sure. It just didn't fit right. But when Will Smith came out of the bottle, out of the lamp, not the bottle, sorry, I was like, oh, this is the trailer bit. He looks a bit. I was like, oh, I don't like this. But believe me when I say, my mind changed completely, very quickly, to liking Will Smith as the genie when he sang Never Had a Friend Like Me. Will Smith turned the genie into his own genie. I forgot about Robin Williams, and it made me realise, as I was walking home from the cinema, it actually made me realise that, like Heath Ledger with the Joker, as I keep mentioning him, like the many Batmans, like the guys who play Superman, like the guys who played Spider-Man, every person who played them has brought something else unique to the character. And I did think You know what? It's not that bad that they've got Will Smith as the genie. And I really enjoyed him as the genie. He sang really well. It literally, he made it his own, and I warmed him very quickly, and I really, really enjoyed it. I honestly really enjoyed it, and in fact, I might go and see it again tomorrow. I found the first part of the film, dragging because it tried to fill in some history of, the Arabian kingdom, of Aladdin's past, of Jasmine's past. And I was like, is this really needed? Because in the animated, it didn't do that. But I appreciated it for what it is, because it was character building. Then the second act and the third act, it heated up. And I was like, oh, are they going to do this? Because they did this in the other film. Then they did it. And I was just happy. I was happy with all of it. That's what you're going to get from me, in all honesty. I was very happy with Aladdin. I mean, the very fact is, because it was also a musical and they did A Whole New World really well as well, I actually, coming out of the film, got the soundtrack, put it on my phone, and just pressed play. And I was listening to Arabian Nights, all the songs in Aladdin, and I was enjoying it. For me, if to come out of a film and want to listen to the soundtrack shows that I enjoyed the film. So, for anyone who's watching who is going, oh, I'm not going to go see Aladdin, I challenge you right now to go and see it. I challenge you. And I guarantee, and I hope if you do listen to me, I guarantee you'll come out going, actually, that was quite good. So yeah, that's my review on Aladdin. It's a very enjoyable film. Yes, it has places where it could have been better. It was very hard for me not to compare, obviously, as you heard in this review, not to compare the original animated one with Robin Williams. But overall, Will Smith really brought the genie into his own. All the cast was spectacular. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was enthralled. I will rate that film. I know it's kind of a low one, but I'm going to rate it 6 or 7 out of 10. Because there is room for improvement. But also, the very fact is, Guy Ritchie, who is a director for, like, crime films and also, like, Sherlock Holmes, he must have had a lot of pressure on him from Disney to make it right. So, I enjoyed it. I really, really, really enjoyed it. And I bet you now, Will Smith's children are like, Dad, you're the genie. For me, for the 21st century, for me, Will Smith is the genie. He'll never replace Robin Williams. Robin Williams is a legend, and he will live on in his legacy through Aladdin. But Will Smith has sold himself as the genie. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you found that I'm a bit more confident, because I'm trying to be more relaxed now. If you like this video, please press like. And if you haven't subscribed already, and you're watching and you've not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel, because I have a lot more content to come. Thank you very much. I hope you all have a good evening. I will be reviewing the film See You Yesterday. I'll be reviewing that tomorrow. The Netflix film See You Yesterday. So please look out for that. And also expect the film review of Elton John's film Rocket Man to come either tomorrow or in a few days' time. Take care of yourselves, guys. Thank you very much.